Yeah. All right, James. I'll see you in a short while. We're ready to tape and ready to talk about the budget and the recent budget vote and the debt increase and the other things that went along with it. So we're just going to talk, and I'll hang here and welcome to Progressive Soup. My name is David Stevenson. We're going to have a visit from our own economic man, James Root, who spent a lot of time talking about economics on the show. We've discussed a lot of things relative to transferring money from national banks to local banks. We talked about neighborhoods and communities actually using their own currency. A lot of economic things that have been very helpful in terms of discussing the trend in America. But tonight I think we're going to talk a little bit about, amongst other things, productivity. Now, a lot of folks are working more and enjoying it less, and that seems to be the trend now for quite some time. And James has a chart, amongst other things we're going to talk about, a chart he has that shows worker productivity, which has steadily increased in America since 1960. People are accomplishing more. Productivity is on the upswing, and yet somehow or other, real income, productivity in real terms, in real dollars, is up quite a bit since 1960, and yet at the same time, work hours have not decreased, and constant income in constant dollars has not increased. It's pretty much stagnant in terms, not in terms of inflation, but in terms of real dollars. So if you looked at what a dollar could buy back then versus what you actually got paid for in terms of, oh, hello there, Mr. Root. I'll be with us in a second. So we're going to have a conversation about the budget, about the deficit, about what's actually at work in Washington, D.C., and how that affects. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, Dave?
Good to have you on.
Good to be here.
Your microphone,
yes,
sir.
Let's do that. How's it going today?
Good.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I think, but you probably have a chart with you that's going to talk about income, about productivity. You want to go there, or you want to talk about the what's going on in Washington?
I'd love to go there. What happened to that chart? Just for, I don't want to bring it up right now. I just want to make sure we can get a hold of it in the future.
No, well, that's a good question.
Wow.
Well,
you know what? I think it's out in the control room, which I'll go back out there and get it somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
So, any news this week? What happened to you this week? How's your spider bite doing?
Spider bite's doing okay. It's almost all healed.
Good.
So apparently I'm going to live a little while longer, and and that's all according to a lot of hard work by Kristen, who's been very much a part of my life now since June 7th. But I guess that's probably a little bit too much information already. All right. But go ahead. So
I got to start with some pleasantries.
Okay. What's going on in Washington?
Okay, the big news this week, it's kind of dry, but it's very important. Work on the deficit and the budget, the national budget. What happened was a little bit of drama transpired because the debt ceiling needed to be raised, basically. The government needs to get authorized to borrow a certain amount of money, and they need to get authorization from Congress to do this.
Right. So what way is I hear? But Congress kind of threw the ball into President Obama's lap. Whose responsibility is it to raise the debt ceiling?
It's kind of. I think it's probably a joint responsibility.
Okay.
But the debate, what happened though, you have forces. It ended up being a test of forces between ideologies. You have John Boehner, who's head of the Republican.
I won't correct you on your pronunciation. I'll let that one slide.